What's up, nerds? Nerdlocker.com here with this week's comic book reviews. I'm starting off with Batman Eternal number 8. I like this issue a lot because we see Batman going around just cleaning up Falcone's men, getting them off the street, and the new Commissioner Forbes is like, we don't look at Batman as a valid. He's a vigilante. You can't do that. Let him go. And it actually leads up to this meeting with Commissioner and Batman, and it's kind of cool to just watch like where this city's going. I mean, if you remember the first issue, that first page was just Gotham burning and a lot of stuff going bad for Batman. So it's cool to see kind of where this is starting and kind of the people he's going to have to fight and what he's going to have to do to overcome stuff. I like this kid, the lieutenant, a lot, but I feel like he's either going to be a really big villain in this book or he's going to end up like a hero. I just feel like because he's right in front of us and we don't know anything about him, there's something about his past, and I'm waiting to see that come out. This issue ends with Batman leaving Gotham to go do a little research, and we see another character about to enter the fold. The thing I love most about this book is that we have all the Batman writers, I mean, the people we've seen all year, and this issue, the art's done by Gillian March, who's doing Talon, and I just like how DC is keeping like this Bat family together. And if you're a fan of the books, you're still getting to see it in this book, which is just awesome. I love it. I love this weekly series stuff. I really hope this sticks and it stays and it does well and it doesn't fizzle out like it did before. I have a lot of hope for this. I'm giving this 5 out of 5 Nerd Skulls.
Hey there guys, Kevin here with my reviews for this week. And I'm going to start off with Star Wars Rebel Heist number 2. Now I read the first issue kind of just on a whim, didn't really understand what was going on. But it's essentially just stories told about the main characters a couple years after the Battle of Yavin, so it's in between the movies, the original movies. And it's like the main dudes. First one was Han Solo, this one was Princess Leia. I will not spoil. Okay, it was in solicitation, so you probably already know. But the next one will be Chewbacca. So that's pretty sweet. It's actually cool because you're seeing these characters. Yeah, we've seen Carrie Fisher and Han Solo in millions of movies and books and things like that. As these characters, they're really fleshed out and drawn out, and we know what they do. We know them. But this, it gives you like a little more insight as to like, yeah, Princess Leia is princess. She's a senator. She's all this crap. But she's also like a spy, and she was also a really good spy. There's a reason why she's at the top of the rebellion. Same with Han Solo. Same with, as I'm expecting, Chewbacca. Like these guys are all like really awesome badasses, and there's a reason why we've always considered them badasses. So it's awesome to see it actually happening in this book. Pretty much, Princess Leia in this whole issue, not episode, she has to meet up with her contact. And the cool thing about this, like the first one, it wasn't from Han Solo's perspective, it was from the person he was protecting. This is the same thing, it's from the contact's perspective to Princess Leia, and you're seeing her do all the things, and you don't really see the play-by-play of everything, but you see what happens, what she has to go through, and the things she's able to accomplish, which to me is way cooler than just giving me the same basic story over and over and over and over again with 4 different people, 5 different people, however many they choose to use, and then that's it. So I'm really excited to see where they take it with Chewbacca, Luke, whoever the hell else they decide to use in this story. But really awesome. A kind of a break of pace from any other books that I've been reading right now. Way more spy, espionage kind of thing. And it's actually a really good version of that too. So I'm going to give it 4 out of 5 Nerd Skulls. I'm not giving it the full 5 just yet. But check it out. Let me know what you guys think.
Hey guys, I got to check out a new #1 out of Image Comics this week with Trees, and it's written by Warren Ellis and drawn by Jason Howard. One of my favorites. I loved him on Astounding Wolfman, and of course, Super Dinosaur. Warren Ellis, I love everything he does. He gets a little weird with his books though, and I was ready for that in this title. What he's telling with this book is, or the question he asks with this book is, what if we found intelligent life in outer space? But more so, what if that intelligent life didn't find us intelligent at all? Basically, in the near future, aliens start probing our planet and using it to get rid of waste. and that's why the book is called Trees. The probes that they send down and connect to the planet look a lot like trees, plus they put out this kind of green substance that makes plants grow in its wake. At the end of the book, there's kind of a twist that makes me want to read the second issue. We're following along with this new character, and I really don't know where he's taking his story. He's basically moving somewhere new, and we don't know why yet, but I'm really interested to see where that goes, because basically he's landed in a whole new place, and we're going to answer questions in the second issue, I'm hoping. But the graphics, or obviously the artwork by Jason Howard is amazing. I love his work. So check out this book. I'm going to give it 4 out of 5 Nerd Skulls.
Hey there, nerds. Jim here with my comic book reviews this week. And first up, I have Nightwing number 30. It's the last one. And it was interesting. It follows up with the events. Well, it starts off really weird with a group called the Fist of Cain. Not exactly sure where that came from, but it leaps us right into the events that follow up Forever Evil. And we have a tryout of sorts between Batman and Nightwing. And it's very interesting. It honestly dragged on a little bit, but it made sense because Batman really wanted to make sure that Dick still had what it takes, and he's putting him through hell to find out. And the fighting actually is just kind of like gets boring, but it's a psychology that's going on that makes a lot of sense. It's very interesting. So in the end, obviously, Nightwing is dead, and we have Dick Grayson going on, doing what he needs to do, and that is continuing Batman's fight to take down Spiral. No giveaways there. I'm not spoiling anything. This is all known. Honestly, I thought the writing could have been a little tighter. I thought it was definitely like, oh yeah, we're going to end this issue. That's right. Boom. And obviously, he's going on to his own book, Grayson, which is cool, and I'm very excited to see him get a book that is going to continue this story. But this issue itself was kind of like, okay, there we're done. So it wasn't that it was bad, but it wasn't as good as I wanted it to be. So for that, I'm only going to give it 3.5 out of 5 Nerd Skulls.
I got to read Batman number 31, the final act of Zero Year, which is cool because we're almost done with the origin story, which means we're almost going to be back to regular continuity Batman. I can't wait to see what he has in store for that. But this one, we see Batman stepping up and accepting the Riddler's challenge that he does now that he's controlling Gotham. And we just get to see more behind the scenes of Batman, Lucius Fox, and James Gordon just planning their attack against the Riddler. And it's really cool. And you really get to see Batman coming into his own. And that's probably what I've liked most about this series. The last Volume 4 just came out, which was the first arc of Zero Year. And I reread that. And it's just so cool, like, just seeing it again and having it hit home with all of the stuff you love about his origin and then all this new stuff with it as well. And it still makes sense. The artwork is still absolutely incredible. I can't say enough good things about this book. Can't wait for that next issue. It's the final one. I feel like it's going to be gigantic, probably like in action and obviously size. But yeah, this is a great book. Please pick it up. 5 out of 5 Nerd Skulls.
All right, guys, so I got to read Tomb Raider number 4 as well this week. And while I did like the video game a lot, and I've liked previous issues of this series as well, I feel like most of this particular issue was kind of like, whatever. Just stupid story. And people being like, I don't want to do that. Oh, I'm going to do it. Whatever. I feel obligated to do it. I don't like when stuff like that happens all the time because it's not really true to how someone would come to someone's aid in some situation like that. Like, if it's an extraordinary situation, you're probably going to go to a friend and they're going to be like, whoa, dude, let's do it. Or really apprehensive, but eventually they'll do it because they're your homies or whatever, especially with the relationships that are established within this book. So laying that down, you would expect that most people would just be like, Laura Croft, I got your back. You're Laura Croft. I know what's up. But she's not that Laura Croft yet, so it sucks that it's just kind of like for most of the book. But it ends with this like cool little, it's not a cool big reveal, but it's a cool little reveal. And if you played the game, know anything about it, know anything about Laura Croft and how badass she can be, then you're like, oh, okay. It's like the wake-up call at the end of the thing. So the next issue should be dope. Issue after that should be even more dope if my planning is correct and my predicting is correct. So we'll see what happens. But this one I'm going to give 3 out of 5 Nerd Skulls. and I'm going to come back for the next one, and I hope you guys do too.
So I also got to read Ghostbusters number 16. Man, this book is just fun, awesome. It's like they just took the movie and all my favorite memories and just put it right there on the page, and I love it. We're still with mass hysteria, and there are, obviously the Ghostbuster gang has grown, but the four are still the focus in my opinion. I love them. They're fantastic. And we actually get a great cameo visit of the four and another four. And it's really cool how they do it. I can't wait till you guys read it because it's great. I love the dialogue between them. The banter is fantastic. And I can't give away too much. Now, we kind of go with the same thing. Tiamat is taking over Dana Barrett and Louis Tully. And she started using them the same way as Gozer did. And obviously the gang wants to get him back. Of course, Peter says, well, why don't we just cross the streams again? That's what we did last time. So they try it and things like, oh, everything's good. But it's not. It's not. It doesn't work. It's too easy. That's exactly what happens. There's more to the story. I can't wait to read it. I love the writing. I love the humor. This is fantastic. I highly recommend you pick this up. 4 out of 5 Nerd Skulls.
All right, I got to read Futures End number 4. And this issue's awesome because it is Frankenstein heavy. That is the one series that got canceled at the beginning of this New 52 thing that really bummed me out. And I'm glad that he is a big player in this book because we get to see everyone from Shade and we just get that whole kind of that feeling again. And it's awesome and I love it. I will say this one's a little bit slower because, I mean, I guess this book we're going to have a lot of mystery that we're uncovering. What happened in the past 5 years, where certain heroes are now. We see that with Tim Drake and we see a lot more of his cover story in this. It looks like we're going to be diving deeper into that. But right now, this book has all of my favorite characters. I mean, you got Terry McGinnis involved. Red Robin looks like to be a main character. Frankenstein's got his own story going on. I love this book. And I love that we have another weekly series that isn't just A-list heroes, that we're getting to see more of the DC universe. Because, you know, the New 52 and the cancellation of Stormwatch and Grifter and everything else, like, this is what I wanted to see in the New 52. So I'm glad that they're still including these people that we don't necessarily see all the time. I love this book. I really can't wait for the next issue, which is next week, which is awesome. I'm giving this 5 out of 5 Nerd Skulls.
All right, guys, so I got to read Inhuman number 2 this week. Now, I was really excited for this series. I wanted it to go a certain way. I wanted certain writers, certain things to pan out. Unfortunately, they did not. So now we're left with what I guess Marvel was planning all along and someone else taking it. So it feels a little different to me. It feels a little weird, but it's actually a really good story. And the fact that it's something new that technically has been there forever in the Marvel Universe, but I like it's kind of a giant retcon where they can add all this cool stuff, this cool rich story, and they're introducing these characters and making it very intriguing to you as the reader. You want to come back. At least I do. Having read 1 and 2, I totally was like pulled into it and I was like, oh, this is too many questions. I need to understand what's going on right now. So that is awesome about this book. The way they handle certain characters, I might have wanted someone else to do that, handle that, but I like this writer a little bit. I'm not too familiar with his work, but I like what he's doing. Charles Soule, I enjoyed your first 2 issues. So I'm going to keep going with it just to see where that goes because there's some awesome characters. Now, Joe Mad, artist. Love the guy. Awesome stuff. 90s stuff is crazy and cool. Some would say a little too crazy and cool. A little too hyper in some aspects, which I can totally understand. But for certain books, this fits. And I feel with this book, it fits. With Medusa's power, it fits. With Gorgon's giant strength and his build, it fits. With this new kid, Dante, totally fits. So I'm excited where he's going to take it. But I do have some issues to pick. First off, when Medusa's being all bitchy and like yelling at people, why can't you draw her face? Why does it have to be just black? I don't understand that. I want a little more detail than that. You are a giant artist that has done crazy things, and one of your things you can do is cool chick faces. So do it when she's all mad. I don't understand it. Either way, other than that, moving on from the art subject, overall the book was awesome. It was great. I really, really enjoyed reading it. I want to know where they're going to take it. And basically, it's so wrapped in mystery, I don't even know where it could go. So that's really awesome. I like what they're doing with Adelan and how they're connecting it and connecting the Inhumans to how like personal it is to them. I really, 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 really enjoy a lot of that stuff. So I want to see this pan out and play out really well. And give it 4 out of 5 nerd skulls and read it.
So finally I got to read 24 Underground number 2. I love Jack Bauer. I love 24. I'm watching the current series, which I highly recommend you watch. It picks up right where it left off with the action. Love it, love it, love it. The comic book, on the other hand, if you're not into 24, I don't think you'd necessarily like it. It's hard to catch the action on the page. It's not nearly as interesting as when you see it on the TV. I like the intrigue. I like where it's going, and nobody knows the people he's been with the last couple of years don't know who he is for real. Yet you have the Russian mafia who knows who he is, and they're now trying to go after him. And you have the United States who's caught him on the radar and are trying to go after him for the way wrong reasons. But it's not able to capture the action that we can get live on TV. And I miss that on the comic book pages, and I'm a little disappointed by it, and I'm not sure why that is. I like the writing. It's okay. It's not bad. If you are a big fan of 24, I think you'd like it. If you're not into 24, again, I don't think this will get you what you want. So for that, I'm only going to give it 2.5 out of 5 nerd skulls.
All right, I can read Guardians of the Galaxy, number 15, and there's still some art in here by Nick Bradshaw, which is what I want more than anything, because I love his artwork. I also love the new look that Venom has, now that he's in space. Looks a little more alien, and it's really cool. I love Flash Thompson as Venom. I always liked Venom growing up, but I really like kind of the hero take on him. And I like that we might actually get some answers to what the symbiote is in this book. Actually, the beginning of the book made me uncomfortable because Rocket is being held by the Kree, and they're about to mess with him and dissect him and figure out what he does, and he actually looks like scared for a minute, and I was like, that's so sad. But then, you remember, Rocket Raccoon's a badass, and he'll figure this out. And this is neat, because we're seeing the Guardians, this book, we're only 13 issues in, and they're already just disbanded. And they're all being held by a different alien race, all awaiting different fates, and you don't know how they're going to come back together. I will say the cover to this is completely misleading, and that's why you're not going to get all 5 out of me. I'm giving this 4 out of 5 nerd skulls, because the cover really promised me something, and it didn't give me that. I'm assuming we're getting the next issue, which is cool, but come on. Save that cover for the next issue. Either way, you guys need to be checking this out. It's a great book.
All right, guys, so I got to read Uncanny Avengers, number 20. Man. So, being that this has been going on for a good little while, and there's been so many questions raised and so many crazy things going on, right now, it's at this insanely awesome part where they're not really coming together as far as I can tell, but I feel it's close. I feel like certain things are coming soon. And the way this ends, the way it sets up kind of like what's going to happen the next couple issues is like, you get a little more out of it than other issues, I guess. Like you're getting more questions and stuff, and things are happening, things are going crazy, but there's like crazy awesome action and like alternate worlds now, and or alternate futures, I should say, or maybe even the future, I don't know. But that stuff is what makes a cool Marvel book to me. That's something that the Avengers and the X-Men both do really well, and to have that all incorporated into this awesome, cool universe and seeing things play out, and Daniel Cunha's artwork doing it, and Cyclops and Magneto still fighting 50 years in the future, and so many cool things happen in this book. Thor being a douche, and then Kang being a douche, and everyone just being douches to each other and being awesome at the same time. Like, I really enjoy Remender's take on everyone and where he's taking it, and I thank you so much, sir. I'm gonna give this 5 out of 5 nerd skulls. It's an amazing book. Follow it from the beginning. Go grab every issue, because seriously, a lot of stuff's going on down in here. I don't even want to talk about anything because I'll probably spoil it. So go read it.
All right, guys. I got to read C.o.w.l. number 1. It's by one of my favorite writers, Kyle Higgins. He's a great guy, great writer, and this is, I believe, his first independent book. First one I've been aware of. But I couldn't wait to read this when I heard it got announced, and it is awesome. It's a lot of fun. C.o.w.l is a organization of, I mean, this was just what I'm getting from the first issue, that it's an organization of superheroes that kind of protect the city, but it's run through this organization, so they're not just like roaming free. The thing I like about this is it's set up just like a noir type story, and I just feel like there's going to be a lot of mystery and just stuff to this book that I can't wait to see where it goes, and I can't wait to see Kyle Higgins doing something with his own characters and where he plans on taking this. The artwork is outstanding. You guys need to be picking this up. And the other cool thing is being its first issue, new characters, new that. There's a little explanation at the end of one of them. I hope we get those in the other issues too. So just kind of get a little background. I like that kind of stuff. I'm giving this book 4 out of 5 Nerd Skulls. Let me know what you thought.
All right, guys. So I got to read Avengers number 30, the original Sin tie-in. Oh man. First off, Original Sin is probably not the best. I'm not going to say that. Everyone keeps saying that with every event title. It's awesome. It's really good. It's what you want from an event book. It's not just crazy fights and powers and things like that. In this day and age, I think comic books should be a little bit more. You should have more from it, no matter if it's a superhero book, independent book, or whatever. It should touch you on a couple different levels. And I feel Original Sin did that, where it could get you in here. It can get you all pumped up and everything, and Avengers is doing that. I feel very well as a tie-in, because A, you're getting the craziness that's been going on in Avengers. It's still continuing. You're getting answers as to who is pretty much to blame for a lot of the things that's going on right now. And you also get some really cool guest stars and views into the future and whatnot. So good. Pretty much, we got an awesome guest. Now, I am a little partial to certain people in this universe. I'm not going to give it 5 out of 5 Nerd Skulls just for that. I will say that right now. I will give my score later, though. But either way, this dude shows up, kind of gives everyone the rundown of what's going to go on. He has been in the future, and he has been tasked to kind of give everyone the idea of what they need to be doing right now, what they need to expect. And they're on this crazy time-jumping quest. Not necessarily quest, but they're going to be jumping quite a while, and they need to be ready for it. So you get that going, and then all of a sudden he does something completely not unpredictable, because we've kind of known that this guy's a douche to begin with, but it comes out of nowhere. It happens. It's really awesome. And then you just, so many more questions, so many things that need to be answered. But I really like what they did. I really love when people can have a vision of a future of something and it make either sense or it's awesome and it's just cool in its own right. And I want to see it happen. Character interactions are wonderful and the artwork is on point. So for being a great book, I'm going to give it 5 out of 5 Nerd Skulls. And the other thing, I would give it 5 out of 5 Nerd Skulls. So once you see it, you'll understand what I'm talking about. Check it out, please. It should be on your pull list to begin with, but go do it.